So, I don't make YouTube videos or any fancy stuff like that, but I've decided, with much thought and staying up very late at night writing about this, to share a little bit about my story through my modeling journey so far. And the main moral to this story is that you don't really know what everybody's going through or what everybody's backstory is or this and that. I'm not going to edit this video, so if I look like shit, which I kind of do, or I swear, or someone comes to the door, or a cat runs across here, it is what it is, because that's how life is. No redos. Alright. So my story of this wonderful journey starts in 2012, and yes, I have my iPad. I have this all written out, not word for word, just kind of like a timeline of everything, just so I know where I am in life. So in 2012, I was 14 years old. I was a gymnast all my life, and I was at a competition in Florida, and I was warming up for bars, and I fell, and it was not good. I could have probably broken my neck. It could have been a lot worse than it was. After a long time of trying to figure out what was wrong, we came to the conclusion after many doctor's appointments that I had degenerated discs in my back and now have arthritis. So I have been dealing with arthritis for many, many years now, and it's a struggle waking up every morning and having to fight pain and fight your body, which, I mean, isn't fun. And I've had 4 test procedures and 2 back surgeries and this and that, so I mean, I've come a long way when it comes to my back in general. So after I injured my back, I did finish the season, which probably wasn't very smart, but I had to quit gymnastics. And when I quit gymnastics, I'm like, all right, what am I going to do with my life now? I've grown up in a gym. I don't know what to do with my time. So I kind of got interested in modeling. So 2013 rolled around, I turned 15, and I kind of just went for it. My parents are like, you know, if you can figure this stuff out, go for it. So June 3rd, 2013 was my very first agency meeting. And in respects to all agents and peoples and this and that, I'm not using any names of anything, just an FYI. So I had my very first agency meeting on June 3rd. And my first photo shoot was June 16th, so very shortly after. And, you know, very, very shortly after I started modeling, I went to LA. That was June 26th as I left for LA for the first time. You know, it was such a great experience. I met a lot of people. It was more of a experience builder and confidence builder more than anything, just because, you know, I was new to the industry, and it probably wasn't the smartest thing to go to LA right when I started modeling, but I'm glad I did, because that's such a huge stepping stone when it comes to the confidence in my life. Later on in 2013, I was at a Macy's fashion show. It was like their spring fashion show, so I mean, it was all that fun stuff. And my agent who booked me and the owner of the agency were at the show. And after the show, I went to say hi to them, and the owner of the agency asked me why I wasn't going to Paris with their top girls. And I'm like, I just signed with you guys maybe 3-4 months ago. I'm like, Paris? What? Paris? Like, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a possibility for me. So I'm just like, you know, well, think about it. It was crazy. I couldn't even picture myself going to France and modeling, especially this early in my career. So we kind of just put that off, wanted to get more experience under my belt, wanted to figure out if this was actually what I wanted to do before, you know, I flew across seas and went to Paris. So this and that, I'm going to jump to 2014, I was 16. Little funny thing about turning 16 is I failed my driver's test on my birthday, and then 2 weeks later, and then 2 weeks after that, I finally passed, but irrelevant. Okay, so in 2014, I went to LA again, and this was early 2014, and I actually got a contract from a very boutique agency out there, and, you know, I got the contract, and they wanted me for, you know, a very extended period of time to sign this exclusive contract. And I mean, only a year into modeling, and they already told me I had to work on this, I had to work on that, and needed to be a little older. So I'm like, well, if there's all these things I need to work on, why would I sign? So I told them I'd think about it, and I came home and I met with some people and my agents here and a couple people who were actually more like lawyers to look over this contract and to make a decision. And after a long time of thinking about this, we're like, I don't know if I'm quite ready for this because, they told me I need to be smaller. They told me I need to be older, and I can't really change my age. I just, as life goes on. So we decided to kind of put that to the side. And I guess I regret not following through or following up with it because it kind of just vanished off into the distance. I guess nothing really happened there. But, live and learn, right? And in 2014 was a very big year for me. On June 10th, I committed to go to Paris for the following year. And around that time, my hip measurements, because that's really big in the modeling industry if you don't know that, were around a 36. And that's almost optimal. Optimal is like a 34 and a half, 35. So that was my goal. I was going to get there. So after I committed to going to Paris, I was like, all right, I'm going to get down to that 35. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to dominate when I get there. So I was super, super set, and I was going to do it. On June 23rd of 2014, I signed exclusive with an agency here in Minnesota. So same agency that was taking me to Paris. I'm like, all right, I got this. Like, you are taking me to Paris. We are going to do this. We are going to dominate. Like, life is going to be sparkles and glitter and unicorns all around. Don't really know if what I just said makes sense, but all right. So I was working out 2 times a day for multiple hours. I got on the elliptical and I ran for over 2 hours, which was 10, 15 something miles every time I got on the elliptical, and then I worked out. And I ate super clean, and I was working out and I was working out, and I was getting bigger. And with how I was doing my diet and I was working out, that really shouldn't have happened. And I was getting really bad acne, and like I said, I was getting bigger, and a lot of things inside of me were changing to the fact where I was getting really anxious and really depressed and not being who I was before a couple months ago, and we couldn't figure it out. And so finally we went to the doctor and we're like, okay, well, all this stuff is happening. Like, I can't have my hip measurements get bigger. I can't get bigger in the first place. I'm going to Paris. Like, this is the size I need to be. And after multiple of tests and like ruling out like thyroid stuff and this and that, I was later diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. So that is an ovarian disease that really messes with your hormones. So without knowing it, I had a lot of extra testosterone in my body. So I was working out multiple hours a day, just training super hard without knowing that all these extra hormones in my body that aren't supposed to be there were just building me muscle and making me bigger. And I just felt so broken down once figuring that out. I was happy I figured out what was wrong with me, but my hips had jumped to a high 37 inch, and I'm like, crap, now I have 2 inches I need to get down. So I was still set on Paris. That was my goal. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And it was very, very difficult for me. Every time I woke up in the morning, I was fighting pain of my arthritis, and then I was working out, fighting against what my body wanted. So my body wanted me to be one way, and I wanted to be another way, and I was just fighting against myself. It was a struggle. So I was able to get myself back down to around like a 36 and a half, maybe 36 and 3/4. But I was thick and I was a little bulky, and I wasn't quite that lean look that the Paris wanted. So in 2015, still continuing to train my butt off and doing this and that, I went to Paris, and that was May 23rd of 2015, and I came home 10 days later. When I was in Paris, I went to the showcase with all the agencies, and there were 16 agencies out of like 22 or something that were interested in me, highly interested in me. And I did get immediate offers to stay. I could have stayed in Paris right off the bat. There were a couple agencies who were like, we want you right now. But even those agencies and every other agent that I had met with and that had liked me told me, we really need your hips to be around a 35, 35 and a half. Like, we love you, we love your look, we think you would be incredible, but you have to be at this size. So when I got those offers to stay, I'm like, I'm very honored and blessed that people are wanting me to be here. But I know I'm going to be competing against agencies and their talent who they're smaller. And if that's what the clients want, why would I stay here, pay to live here, if I know I'm going to be going to auditions and castings against people who are the correct size when I'm not? And I know it's going to be very hard to live in France and try to get my sizes smaller. Because, I mean, come on, those croissants and, like, oh, so good. Like, it wouldn't have happened. So I came home and I still tried to get my measurements down when I got home, but I felt slightly defeated. I had worked my ass off for this Paris trip. I had paid for it myself. I was working and I was doing everything I could possibly do to make this Paris trip the most beneficial to me. And it was such a life-changing experience. I'm not saying that it wasn't. Not many 17-year-olds can say they went across seas, met with, X amount of agencies from 8 different countries and was confident in their talking. Like, most people can't say that they've had interview skills like that or have had opportunities to interview like that, and I have. And that is a life experience that I'll treasure forever. Like, I know I can walk into a job interview someday or a casting or an audition, whatever I continue to do with my life, and I can confidently say, like, I am Ashley Lundgraf and this is me. Like, that's who I want to be in life. I want to be the strong, independent boss lady who can walk into a room and be like, this is me, this is what we're doing, this is who I am, and take me as I am or leave me, watch me leave. Like, that's who I want to be in life. And as of right now, in 2017, I have that confidence. But back in 2015, I'm like, I'm defeated. They don't want me like I am. I need to change myself so I can be accepted. And in today's society, everybody thinks they have to be like that. Everybody thinks like, oh, if I don't wear a size 0 or a size 2 or have long blonde hair or glimmering shiny skin or pretty nails or this and that, I'm not going to be accepted. Like, I'm sorry, excuse my language, but fuck that. You are you. God blessed you with what you have going on right here, and you need to embrace every little thing. You know what? If you got thicker thighs, fuck, embrace those damn curves, because that's what I would do. That's what I am doing. If you got long hair, embrace it. If you got short hair, spike that shit up and make it look rockin' as much as you can. I mean, don't care what other people think of you. You are you for a reason. There's nobody else like you. Don't try to be like anybody else. Okay, little rant over. 2016, I was 18 years old. My measurements still didn't change. I was still a high 37, 38. And I'm just kind of getting to that point where I'm like, seriously, like, come on. Like, frustrated as heck. And kind of 2016 was kind of just a dull year. I had many text me. What did you? Okay. Sorry. 2016 was just kind of a dull year. Like, I was trying to, as I'm writing out this timeline on my life, I'm trying to remember something very, very significant that happened in 2016, and I'm just like, I don't remember 2016. A lot of people don't remember 2016. I remember going on a lot of agency go-sees throughout Minneapolis through agents who have come here. And again, agents are interested in me, but they want me smaller. And, after hearing that for now, 3 years, that starts to get really defeating. I mean, you're doing everything you can to get yourself smaller, and you keep hearing the same thing. And, all my friends and my family, they keep telling me that somebody is going to come across and somebody is going to take you as you are, and you are going to show everybody who you can be. And I'm still waiting for that moment. And if that moment doesn't come, I'm going to create that moment to come. I will make it happen, because I want girls like me, models or regular people, to realize that if you have hips, you can be successful. You don't have to be plus size, or you don't have to be high fashion size. You can have that in-between body and still look as beautiful as you are in the first place. And you can be successful in anything you do. And I'm not saying that you can't if you're not a model. I mean, okay, words not coming out correctly. In the modeling agency or modeling world, there's the high fashion, which is like the 35-inch hip, and then there's the plus size, which is 43, 44-ish. And I'm in the middle. There's not really a spot in the middle. It's developing. There's curvy that is developing. through some agencies, but that's closer to like a 39-40 hip, and I'm again 37.5, 38. So it's like the industry's changing, but it's changing not quite to where I want it to be. So it is what it is. Anyways, all right. 2017 so far has been, I would say clusterfuck, but I'm trying not to use that word. So a interesting year. So at the end of 2016, I was told that I could have the opportunity to go to IMTA LA, which is International Models and Talent Association, and it's located, or this one was in California. And this is like 200 plus modeling, talent, acting, singing, dancing, twirling, whatever, agencies that come to one and have this big talent showcase and competition. So I went and just kind of went, you know, whatever. And I was sitting in a seminar one night, and there was an agent from New York and an agent from LA there, and they were kind of partnered together as for their agencies. And I went to talk to them. So I got to LA June 3rd. This was probably June 5th. I want to say I went to the seminar. So as I was talking to these agents afterwards, and the one really seemed to like me and understand kind of my story with my measurements. So I met with her and some of her bookers the following day. And the following day, I got offered a contract. And this was one of my dream agencies. I'm like, oh my goodness, like I cannot believe this is happening. Like this is real life. So June 6th of 2017, I signed a contract with a very large agency in California. And I was so incredibly excited. So we came to the conclusion that at the beginning of March, during my spring break, I was gonna fly back out to California and do some test shoots. So from beginning of January to the beginning of March, I worked with a trainer 3 times a week, and we just kicked ass. We were working out, I was getting toned, I was getting lean. All that California agents told me to do, and my mom and I asked what number they want me to be at, asked for hip measurements, we asked this, we asked that, and all they said is don't worry about the numbers, just get more toned. Okay, I'm gonna repeat that. Don't worry about the numbers, just get more toned. Okay, that's exactly what I did. Okay, and I'm not ranting, actually I am, but so I went home and that's what I did. A week before I went back out to California, I sent my digitals and I sent my measurements. And they said, you know, you look like you've gotten a little bigger. And I'm like, I've gotten more toned. They're like, okay, that's what we asked for. I'm excited to see you next week. So I'm like, okay, they know where I'm at, they know my measurements, and they're ready for me. So I get to LA in March, and I did some tests, and I went into the agency to have a meeting with my 2 bookers, and they looked at me and they said, you're too big. And I'm like, you told me to tone up. Like, I did exactly that. I'm like, yeah, but I can just tell by looking at you that you're a 39. We need you at most of a 36. I'm like, okay, well, when I met with you a month ago, I was a low 38, high 37, and you told me to just tone up. And that's what I did. You never told me a number. And I sat in the room and cried. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I cried in front of people, and I don't like doing that. They told me that there was absolutely nothing they can do for me, that I'm too big, and to go home because I was wasting my time. And hearing that after you thought you got a life-changing offer was probably one of the most heartbreaking things a person could hear. I'm sorry, not trying to like start all that whole stuff. So I was defeated. I was broken. I was shattered. I didn't know what to do. And I was supposed to be in LA for another like 5 days. And I bought my mom a plane ticket home, and I bought myself a plane ticket to Florida to see the guy I was dating at the time, to go to an IndyCar race. And I know this part of my story has nothing to do with modeling, but it's gonna come all together to where I am now. So when I was in Florida, that I found out the guy I'd been dating for 2.5 years cheated on me. Other words, I went to the airport and I went home. So after having my dream agency tell me I was too big and that I was wasting my time, and to find out my love cheated, I kind of just gave up on everything. You know, I was in so much pain with my back and my arthritis from, you know, being all this stressed out. I didn't have any motivation to just keep working out and getting smaller. Like, I wanted to, but it's like I had no motivation. I didn't have my right-hand man pushing me. I didn't have like an agency that was like right within reach that I had to get to. So I was just broken down to the point where like I didn't know what to do, and that was on my notes, so that's going away. I didn't know what to do. So it is now June, and this happened in March, and it has taken me up until probably about this month, maybe the end of May, to be able to be fully content what had happened within that week between Florida and California. It is hard to make the realization that something you have been striving for the past 4 years when it comes to, you know, body image and size and this and that might not happen. And I wish I would have came to this conclusion earlier. So with my polycystic ovarian syndrome and constantly fighting against my body and arthritis and praying I don't wake up in pain, I mean, I'm not saying these are my excuses. Like, they're not. I don't use excuses. I don't. But my body might not be made to be that small. And I'm okay with that. I need to be content with myself. I know that if I try to get myself 3-4 inches smaller, that it's gonna screw up my hormones to the point that all those meds that they put me on to get me healthy like I am today, it would get all screwed up. If I tried to gain 4 or 5 inches to become plus size, it would screw up my hormones even more. I have finally gotten to the point with my health that I am on the correct medications, that I'm in the right mental state. I'm healthy, my skin's cleared up. I can maintain my healthy body weight and still look good. So my biggest fear is that if I try to do that, if I try to push myself to the breaking point of where I need to be high fashion or plus size, I'm risking screwing up so much more for my health. And I'm not gonna say I'm stopped trying because I don't give up, but I'm more concerned about being healthy and being me and staying me than being the size so I can be successful and make money, because I know I can be successful with no matter what I do in life, being me and being my size. Whether I make, you know, $100 grand a day because I did a big campaign, I mean, you know, that'd be pretty dang cool. But I would rather be content with myself and my body and be happy looking at myself in the mirror than be fighting myself even more trying to be smaller. It's not worth it. It doesn't make sense. So as for my modeling in this point in my life, it's kind of just one of those things to where I want to do it. I want it to be my career. I want to show people that you can have major struggles in your life. You can climb mountains that are thrown at you. You can dodge boulders and you can still be successful, because, you know, I have fallen off of high bars and almost paralyzed myself. I have been diagnosed with a disease that isn't going to go away and that makes me fight against my body. There are mountains you can climb and you can get over them and you can be successful, and there's a person at the door, which I'm hoping they go away. But you can be successful. You don't have to fit somebody else's standards. You don't have to. You can be you, and you can be beautiful, and you can embrace what God blessed you with, because hell, you should be doing that. Don't worry about what they say. Don't worry about that cute boy says. Don't worry about what people say. If you are content with your life and you are happy and you are this and you are that, be you. Don't screw everybody else. They don't matter. All that matters is your happiness, your health, and that you can rock any outfit that you put on in the morning. Don't you dare start barking, dog. Lie down. Thank you. Okay. So that's my rant. Stop! I'll let you on in a minute. Okay, we're going for a walk. All right. So that is my rant for the day. You know, I am content in my body. I love my body. I love the clothes I put on in the morning, and I think that's all that matters. So if modeling works out for me, great. I love modeling. I think it'll be fantastic for me to do with most of my life. If modeling does not work out for me, you know what? I have other things I can do. I'm a smart kid. I am good with computers. I can figure shit out, okay? I will be okay with no matter what I do with my life. As long as I'm happy and I'm healthy and I'm content with the person I am on the inside, that's all that matters to me. And I think, and really in today's society where everybody's being judged, I think that's all should matter in the first place. Don't care what other people say. Be true, be you, be a boss lady, kick ass, word. All right.